an aunt, first of all, asked me to get involved about 2 years before, we started shooting this. And then Justin also and David all came together, and they all said, would you like to do it? Would you like to be part of the same team again? And it's been fantastic because there are lots of people that were on the first grader that are on this. So it really is like reuniting the family. It's a great feeling.
So
to be honest, I never really thought about the size of shoes that I was having to fill until I started I'd already said yes, and I was in South Africa, and then I was doing my research and finding out about this amazing woman, Winnie, this very complicated, very powerful woman who's led basically like 7 lives, and it was only then that I started to really get intimidated. Because Anand has done a lot of research himself on Winnie and made a lot of documentaries about Mandela, and so there was a lot of behind the scene footage and interviews with her, hours and hours of it that he had and he was able to give me. So he was kind enough to do that. And then there's also, the biographies that are written about her. So lots and lots of reading, and also talking to people who've met her as well, like Kathrada's wife Barbara, and anybody who'd really had any kind of experience with her, because everybody has such different takes on her. So it was taking a little bit of all those pieces of information and then ultimately making her my own, because it for me was never going to be me imitating her, because I'm not good at imitating people. It was always going to be using that information to create a character of my own.
how
Winnie's journey is not a comfortable one. It's not really a pleasant one. There's not a lot of joy there and a lot of laughter, and certainly not in the scripts, the Long Walk to Freedom. I'm sure there are moments of great joy in her life, but those aren't generally explored in the script. So it's kind of a painful journey to go on, but you have to force yourself to go there. But I was saying before that the thing that I struggled with was her bitterness and her hatred, because her journey forced her to have those things, And for me, I discovered that I don't have bitterness in my life and I don't have hatred, thank goodness. So discovering that and finding a way to connect with that and sustain that was the hardest thing for me. She was very ambitious, she was very hardworking, she was very strong-willed and independent thinker. She came to Johannesburg, I think it was at 17 that she came on her own. So she was very, very independent, and she had a great time in Johannesburg. In the beginning, it was, it was all very sort of alien to her, but she really found her feet here and absolutely loved it and loved the freedom, loved, the clothes. She really got into the fashion, and so she had a real blast while she was here, and she loved her job as well. She really enjoyed that. So that was a really good time for her. And falling madly in love with this amazing man, Nelson, So there were great highs in the beginning, and then it all kind of started to fall apart really after she got married to Nelson, because I think although he had warned her in the beginning about how hard life was going to be with him, I don't think she ever fully accepted that or could understand that. I don't think anybody really could until she was experiencing what she went through, and the isolation, the being left alone, the him being constantly put in prison and then finally taken away from her for 27 years, and having to raise 2 girls on her own, and the being victimized by the police and the brutality that she suffered there, and that's when she really had to discover the mettle that she had. She always had it, but those experiences really forced her to shape herself into a new and reinvent herself in a way into this warrior woman